Do we continue coming to a conference like this where we say we sit on the fence, or do we need to get up and talk? So if we need to get up and talk, it cannot be, please go ahead and steal so my kids can suffer. Really, with due respect, I tend to disagree on that approach. I don't know whether it's the first count that we have to stand up, talk, be hard, and be seen. We're no doubt religious leaders, but it is taught in all the books. It is not those who talk that will destroy the world. It is those who see it and tend to keep quiet and not talk. That's my interpretation of how to go about facing the situation. Religious leaders converging under the umbrella of Inter-Religious Council of Kenya and member faith communities have been deliberating on anti-corruption measures, which is one of the key pillars of our strategic plan 2020-24. RCK member faith communities represented here have resolved to engage members of the public to identify specific measures they will adopt to deplore corruption and socially reject and punish corruption perpetrators. To complement these efforts, RCK is also part of the United Society Against Fraud, Waste and Abuse, which is of course USAWA program funded by USAID and implemented by Transparency International Kenya, among other partners. The program to be implemented from September 2023 to September 2028 aims to reduce fraud, waste and abuse for improved health services delivery in Isiolo, Kakamega, Kilifi, Mombasa, and Nakuru counties. The expected outcome include increased citizen action to address fraud, waste and abuse. In the health sector, strengthening health leadership, governance, financing and commodity systems in the health sector at the country level to increase transparency, accountability and participation. Enhance, improve enforcement of the relevant laws, policies and procedures to reduce fraud, waste and abuse at national and county level. We remain committed to working with state and of course not state actors towards achieving these objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, we are alive to the fact that no single person can eliminate corruption, and it is for this reason that synergy building and partnerships are encouraged. We must all take upon us to speak and be heard whenever we come across foul and corrupt activities. We must also insist on a transparent and accountable system, be practical in all government ministries, parastatals, and also private sectors. Remember, there are those who would shamelessly be happy to call themselves reformers, not corrupt, but the reformers. A more refined name of corrupted ones, and of course, as the saying goes, a flower called by any name smells the same. If you call a hibiscus a bougainvillea rose, it will still smell hibiscus, so they can give themselves whatever name, right? But of course, allow me to share that this corruption issue, we were not, it's not a new thing to many of us. It is, of course, as a Muslim, we have been told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala some 1400 years ago about these corrupted people. It is, of course, in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah 11, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned us some 1400 years ago about the so-called reformers. So it's something we've been told all these years. The Holy Quran says, and when it is said to them, do not cause corruptions on earth. They say we are but reformers. So it's not something new, right? So it is my sincere hope and prayers that this initiative will strengthen our resolve to continue pushing for the elimination of corruption in our country. Thank you for listening to me. Before I conclude, I want to share my personal opinion, and obviously I would seek for the pardon of my bishop and sheikh here, just in case I'm talking contrary to the teaching of the books. Of us, especially the colleagues who are on the pulpit or on the teaching side, we keep on talking about heaven, and most of the teachings about heaven, we are taught about doing good things, looking after the orphan, looking after the widows. Do what you're told, look after others, love for yourself what you love for the others. But have we forgotten the fact that when the Almighty created heaven and hell, that hell is not going to remain empty? It needs it needs some tenants. I'm sure the Almighty's knowledge, reflection cannot be challenged by any human. When He created the two, there must have been a reason. So there are some people who we don't know will be heading there. So let's not keep on talking about the pulpit that says, look, let's do good this, feed the poor, read the Quran, read the Bible, propagate, what is being taught. I think it's high time that we also stand up. Because by stopping the bad, you can still get a ticket to the heaven, not by reading the Quran and the Bible alone. And let's do it. Together we can. Thank you very much. God bless you all and God bless you. Thank
you. Can we put our hands together again for... And one more round of applause for correcting me. I humbly accept that maybe the way I presented it came out like we have to sit back and wish all these thieves, no, not thieves, these bad people a good life. No, that actually would be completely wrong. What we are saying is everyone at their space. Your space you can influence at a much higher level. Everyone can. Those who run organizations, why not? Depending on the giftedness you have. Actually, that's the approach. But thank you so much. And lots of wisdom, isn't it? Let's put our hands together for his bishop, his lordship, Bishop Simon Peter Kamomoe. As I said, in this place we are in, he's actually the host. Welcome, my Lord Bishop.
Thank you. I am honored of sound, and I'm happy to be with you in this forum, representing the KCCB and the entire church. I feel like the church has decided so many points that I have in this script. And so, but I'd like also to appreciate all these good efforts. And the Kenyan Catholic bishops have a theme of faith practice in breaking the chains of corruption. And I encourage each one of us here, not just the Catholic Church, when we talk about breaking the chains of corruption, let us go even deeper. because products. Let us address the root cause. What is the product? That product of corruption. We are dealing with the effects. But where there is effect, there is always a cause. So I encourage that we also realize that the root cause of corruption goes down to the 4 socializing agents. The formation of conscience, and we are talking about a lot about conscience. That development, how does it develop? And it starts right down. Let me just mention, because you know them. The first one is the family. We all learn corruption in our families. Do you think so? That is where we learn corruption. A mother, and a father. You see, even how you treat each other, and the children can observe. The way sometimes you bribe the children, do this, and I'll give you this. That is corruption. Make sure you get your score grade A, and I will
Give you this. Buy for you and nice.
This is how we learn corruption. So family has to be addressed. How we learn, our relationship, the couple itself, and also with the children. In a way, the way he was putting it, there's no face, doesn't appear like it's corruption. And so that is one of the areas that should be addressed, our families. How we are developing the conscience, the values that we are developing. In fact, we don't talk about, let us not just talk about the change of corruption, but let us talk about the culture of corruption. And what is culture? Culture is simply the way of life of the people. That is where the problem is. The way of life of the people. And we start learning from there. Let me not repeat. Then the second agent of developing this corruption is the school where you take your child. That is the second socializing agent. How they develop, or how we developed ourselves to be corrupt. You know the values taught in our schools? I remember I was pursuing my course and I was working and I was so busy. I was a bit scared of the exam. And so, unfortunately, I prepared the wrong paper. I remember that, and God taught me a lesson. Because what I did, I went to the office, and in the home I told God, make sure today I don't receive benefits, so that I'll have time to prepare for my exam. That is also like a corruption, don't you think so? You see? And this, like, I was actually pursuing that course with the University across where the parliament, across the college there. And unfortunately, I went to the office, I attended some few people here and there, and then I went back to my room to prepare for the exam. When we are ready, maybe at 5, when we were waiting for the exam, the lecturer, I saw the lecturer is not the one of the subject that I had prepared. I thought, because sometimes the lecturer is studying for 1 hour. I said, maybe it's okay. But I asked a young lady, my best mate, when I to find out which exam. And me, when we were father, we knew I was a then which one have you prepared? I remember it was about African psychotherapy, and I prepared the wrong one. So that young lady told me, Mama nikupatie Mwakenya. I know, every Kenyan you know Mwakenya. You know Mwakenya. And they know I'm a priest. They knew. I'm not. Shame and guilt. Shame and guilt. I told her, no. Let me struggle with it. I struggled with it. I had not prepared at all. I really struggled with it. But God, according to me, wanted to teach me a lesson. You did not do it the one time given you so committedly because you wanted to prepare for this exam. So unfortunately, somehow God works in many ways. I really struggled with these African psychotherapists, how they used to heal, how they used to understand the well-being of a human person, how they used to do the divine intervention, not divine, but interventions to heal. I struggled with it. But you see, like I'm sharing this, but my point was about Kenya. Our students, let me not continue with the story, yeah? But our students, that is how they do. They depend on that. That is corruption. And we are still preparing them in school on how to become corrupt. And many other. With the lecturers. With the lecturers. I remember still, Nairobi University. We were 60 students, but every time we had ladies leading us all the time. And we were wondering what was happening. Do you know what was happening? Do I have to say it? Let me not say it, because I'm not sure. Okay, some ladies, of course, will do better than us, we know that. But others still abuse that expression. So the second one, socializing agent, schools, institutions, learning institutions in general. They are still learning how to be corrupt. The other one is the church. Church is also a major socializing agent. We still do corruption in the church somehow. Working in the pastoral office down there, every time we get university students from, like those who are there, they want that you endorse them for help. And you don't know them. But they say, Father, we have been told this is the nearest church. So please just endorse us. Say that you know me. Pastors and churches. If you do that, that is corruption. Because you're not doing the right thing, and not just the right thing in the church, we should do what is right and good. Because God is good all the time. Sometimes things can be good, can be right, but they're not good. You can think about that. So, how about ourselves? Even in our religious communities, how are we living? Are we in the point of life? Or we are living in very corrupt, ways, how we are relating with one another. And so, that is the third socializing agent. And the last one, without exploring the minor ones, but also the main ones, is the social media. You learn corruption. Like the way you have we have learned more about how to be corrupt. Don't you think so? We have been enlightened, if I may say. So through social media, I know like my own experience, that I talk about my own experience. On Sundays, we normally have so many youth. They come, they don't come to church, but they are very busy around there on the street and around the parliament there. They are very busy recording TikTok, what do you call them? TikTok, I don't know. TikTok, whatever. So in so many ways, our children, ourselves, are learning how to be corrupt. So I encourage all of us, because we have been reminded that we are actually the conscience. Let us also mentor. Let us inspire. Mother Teresa said that, like now we are told that all Kenyans are corrupt. Am I true? Am I right? All Kenyans are corrupt. But Mother Teresa said, if you want to change, just make sure that you are never involved in any corrupt thing or anything, and you'll be aware that in Kenya there is one person who is not corrupt, and that is yourself, only yourself, because you know you are not. You see, it's only yourself. And let us be there. Let us be there. Let us know even this what we are calling petty. It is like when Kenyans say that we didn't have good candidates for presidency, for governor, for all these seats. So what we did, we elected the lesser evil. It is still evil. It is still, how can you vote for an evil? Yeah, are we right? I mean, you see how Kenyans, we have, but we have no choice. We just elected the lesser evil. And so, as religious people, I want to respond somehow to what Gary said about Nietzsche. Nietzsche, philosopher, talked about God is dead. But I want to take it further and remind like that is not the God who is that is dead. Because God who is cannot die. But people construct their own God. So that is the God who is dead is a God with a small g. Are we together? Human beings are capable of constructing their God, the God they want. There's a writer who is writing a book on that title. The God who is not the God you want. Are we together? The God who is not the God that you worship. Nietzsche studied Christians in Germany and Austria. Germany, yes. Studied the behavior of Christians and realized that their behavior does not at all, has no element to the God that Nietzsche knew. That is why he said the God is dead, but not the God who is. The God who is but we Kenyans construct our own God, and that is why you can see our behavior. That is why you can see that we are not influenced, because God has to change our way of thinking. God has to change, and that is why we are reminded in our presentation by the text, we're informed by the text of Romans chapter 12, verse 1 to 2. No man or nation should be corrupt. God persuades wicked to turn away from their evil ways and to stop conforming to worldliness, the secularism, but to be transformed in their hearts. So if you are worshiping the real God, that God must transform your heart. If that God is not transforming your heart, then that is one God, and that God is dead. Are we together? Let us be very clear on the God that we worship on Sundays, on Fridays, whenever we do your worship. That God must change our families, must change our country. Otherwise, you say that hell is empty? You say that hell is empty? Yeah? If we are worshiping the real God, that God is transforming us, then hell can be empty. So it's about human freedom to choose what is good, what is bad. That is what God does not interfere with our freedom. So even if God created, we are just the problem there. I'm not challenging you. Even if God has the two, but it's about respecting the human freedom, because the freedom can actually, we are supposed to have that moral, the morality to choose what is good and right, and to avoid what is
Evil.
So if we all use the freedom in the right way, the true freedom, then we choose what is good, and we are all candidates of heaven. But if we have constructed our own gods, then we are all candidates of. So, my dear brothers and sisters, so we are supposed to also have what you call in the moral. We help our children and all of us to do that moral development, develop morality, a sense of good. When you do good, how do you feel? When you do good, how do you feel? You feel good. For us Christians, we don't say it's good all the time. And all the time God is good, but they're not doing anything good. That is why Mahatma Gandhi said, I love Christ, but I don't love the Christians. I love Christ. Actually, it's the same idea. So let us engage in moral development that is based on the teaching that is from the God who is, and not the God we want or we have constructed. That is why we can rationalize and intellectualize